I'm setting a timer for 1 hour, and I'm going to be playing through the exact same opening over and over again for the duration of that 1 hour. And at the end of the hour, we're going to see how well I know this opening. The opening that I've decided to choose is what's called the Cozio defense. It's when white plays the bishop b5 line, which is called the Ruy Lopez, and you respond with the move knight g to e7. This is the Cozio defense. This is a very weird move. It's not played that often, but I'd like to learn more about it. And so this is what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be using Stockfish as well as the opening database to help me. Let's go ahead and start the timer and see how much I can learn in 1 hour. Here we go. All right, so the first line I know is knight g to e7, and I can see from the database over here, castles is by far the top move, but there's also c3 and knight c3. A few people have played d4. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the main line. So I'm actually curious about this move, knight to g6. This is something that I've dabbled with before, but I'd like to learn more. So let's go ahead and just skip right to knight to g6. What do we have left here? So it's not been played a lot in the chess.com database. We've got d4 and c3 are really the two moves that I need to learn here. Okay, so let's just start with the main line. d4. Okay. E takes d4 is by far the most common move. f6 has been played. That's interesting. So I'm going to switch over to the analysis. And how bad is this move f6? It's not terrible, but it's also not like a great move. E takes d4 seems to be much better. So I think I'm going to just stick with the, can you guys see the, yeah, you can't really see it. All right. I think I'm going to stick with the main line here. So E takes d4. Okay. And what does white play? Knight takes d4. Everybody plays knight takes. Okay. And what are my options? Bishop to c5 is pretty much the only move. And black actually does very well here. So let's go bishop c5. And this is where white starts to try different things. Knight to f5, knight to b3, and bishop to e3. Okay, so you have two options where the knight moves, one where the bishop defends. All right. Well, let's see what happens if they defend. I can take it either way, really. What does the computer say? Computer says to take with the knight is a little bit better. Okay. What happens here? Do we just get a big trade? Yep, we get a big trade, and black does very well here. Queen to g5. Let's check with the... Okay. Yes, Stockfish agrees. Queen g5 is a good move. This is interesting. You're leaving this pawn, but you are attacking the bishop, and your rook is defended by the knight on g6, which is funny, because normally you'd have a problem with the rook, but it looks like we're fine. We're actually threatening the bishop. So if this happens, I believe we can just take this. And white has nothing. Yeah, just a free piece. Yep. So that's interesting. All right. I'm just going to go back over that line before I forget it. So knight to e7, knight to g6, d4. No, not f6. This to be the main line. Let me promote this variation real quick. And bishop c5. If they defend, you just trade everything and play queen to g5. Okay. Threatening the bishop, this is not a concern. All right, great. So most people here will play e5 or queen d5. And according to the analysis, those are the best moves. Okay, so let's go with the main one, queen to d5. When I first look at this, I think to myself, maybe take it and castle. Taking is an option. h6 is actually the best move, according to the engine. Okay, h6, queen f6. All right, let's look at h6. h6, what does white play? Probably, this person played bishop c4, but I was thinking knight to c3. Yeah, both of those moves. Let's say they go here. I guess we castle. Knight to c3. Let's see how this game went. d6. Bishop back to b3. d7. Is that the best move? Pretty good. And we're not worried about this pawn because why? Do we have an attack on the king here if this happens? Let's check this one. Yes, we get a nice attack. Knight to h4. This is pretty cool. You got the knight, the queen, the bishop all lined up on the king over here. I do like the look of that. So white can't get away with that. Rook a to d1. All right, we're getting too deep here, but just kind of wanted to see how it played out. So just to recap, on d4, we take bishop c5, and if they defend, we just trade everything and play queen to g5. Pretty nice position for us. They can't take that, and on something like queen d5, just h6. Okay, what was the other move here? e5. What do we play here? Knight to f4 or c6, and the engine says knight to f4 is the best move. So knight to f4, threatening checkmate, and I guess white has to play queen e4 or g3. Okay, let's see. On queen e4, we're going to castle. On g3, we're going to play knight to e6. Okay, knight to e6 attacks the queen. Where does the queen move to? Looks like a queen 4. f5 was played here. According to the engine, that is the best move. I was thinking h5, but f5, I guess, gains the tempo, so it doesn't make sense. And if en passant, you've got the bishop, it looks like. Let's just verify that. That is the best move, actually. Queen takes b5. This is the best line. F takes g7. Rook to g8. This is fascinating stuff. If this happens, I guess you're going to take this. Let's just check that. Yeah, that's good for black. Wow, okay. So the better move is knight to c3. Queen to c6. Now queen takes, rook takes. And they're saying it's a draw by perpetual check. What a interesting line. Okay. So on e5, we're bringing the knight in. And then we're going back, and on queen e4, f5. All right. Cool. So that's what's happening if the bishop goes to e3. I want to see what happens if the knight moves now. Jump back over here for a minute. And let's say knight to f5, just because this looks like a aggressive move. Attacking g7. I assume we castle. Yes, castling. And engine agrees. That's a fine move. So castle. Queen to h5 is a move. Bishop e3, knight c3. Yeah, I feel like knight c3 is probably going to be played more often. And then how do we develop? Just d6? Is that what the engine says? Or a6 looks a little bit better. Let's go a6. Bishop goes back. And then we bring a knight in. Either one looks playable. Okay, we'll say this one. And has this been played before? No, this hasn't been played in any games. So bishop to b3. 6. Okay, so now here's kind of like the general setup it looks like. You castle, you chase the bishop away, you play d6, and you bring your knight in here. Something like this. If they play knight f5. King h1. I'm just kind of following the stockfish line here. Bishop e6. Queen h5. Okay, interesting. So you not get too bogged down. Nothing really to worry about on knight to f5. You just castle. And then you play a6, bring the knight in, and then d6. Okay. All right, and the other move, knight to b3. Probably we just drop back to b6. Let's go back to over here. Yes, this one performs very well. Knight to c3. Castles in a6. a6, and black has not lost a game. That's really good. Wow, a6. Okay. And white has all sorts of options to retreat the bishop. If they take back with this pawn. Equal position. If they retreat, let's just say back to c4. Castle. Looks very good. Knight to d5, and what do we play here? Just bring the bishop back. Get out of that so it doesn't get captured. Okay. All right, so what have we learned so far? There's bishop e3, where we just trade everything, bring the queen out, and get a pleasant position. There's knight to f5, where we just castle, and then a6, knight goes in d6. Probably is the setup. On knight to b3, we just drop it back, and then we play a6. Castles, similar type of setup. H1, 6, yeah, same type of setup. What happens on f4? Let's see, what do we play here? Knight GD to king h8 is actually popping up here. Yeah, king to h8. Getting out of this pin. We can use this if we need to. Knight to d5. We're going to strike with f5. Okay, so here's kind of another setup. If they do push f4, we should move that and play f5. All right, cool. So I feel like I'm learning quite a bit here. We looked at those 3 options. Okay, what if white doesn't do that and simply plays, let's see what else has been played here. c3 is pretty popular. Let's look at c3. What do we play here? Main move is d6. Does the engine agree with that? No, the engine likes d5. Yeah, that's what I thought. About d5. So let's look at d5. I want to follow the engine recommendation on this one. So d5, the only couple of games here we had captures. We had d3, d4, queen a4. Okay. On captures, this looks pretty good for black. c4 is the best move. d4 is what's been played. Can we go queen? Yeah, queen d3. This is super annoying to play against because white's bishop is stuck and you can't move the pawn. This does not look pleasant for white. So I like the look of this. So let's say they don't take. Let's say they just play d3. Then we go bishop e7. So it seems like when the pawn goes to c3, our bishop doesn't go to c5, it goes to e7, which makes sense, right? Because the pawn here really supports these pawn pushes, which could attack our bishop. So that kind of makes sense to me that the bishop would go to e7 instead. And then I don't know, what is white going to do? Has this been played before? No, no games. So the best move is for them to take or rook e1. You can't really develop. I mean, they can go here. Yeah, that doesn't look so great. Let's just say they do this development setup. Oh, we have d4 traps the bishop. That's a cool one to keep in the back of my mind. They can't go here because of the knight. He can't go here because of the queen and the bishop. That's pretty interesting. So it's kind of hard for white to develop this bishop when you go with this bishop e7 setup. Okay. All right. There's also d4 that's been played. You're supposed to take. And if does d5 get played? No. Knight to g. Wow. Knight to g5. You just attack it. Just attack it. On takes. Into d5 or castles. Okay, so it's getting a little tricky. So going back on c3, we play d5. If they take, the queen comes in, and we on c4 we plant the queen on d3. If they play d3, the bishop's just going to go to e7. And they can't really develop naturally because that gets trapped. They have to do other things. No. Okay, let's just say rook e1, castle. Say they take, we take. If the bishop goes back, where do we put our queen? We put our queen on d6. Okay, and if the knight tries to come in, bishop to e6, I just want to see what happens. Knight to e4, and we drop it back. Okay, so here's a nice little setup for black. Rook's going to come over, maybe f5 at some point. Stockfish line looks like this. Knight comes over. I think our queen to d. This looks very good for black. Okay. We're 15 minutes in, and I already feel like I've learned a lot, but I'm not stopping till the hour is up. I'm just going to go for an entire hour. Let's keep going. So, yeah, d4 and c3. Let's just briefly look at, let me go back over here. Let's briefly look at knight to c3, just because it's kind of a, natural looking move. Bishop c5 seems to be the move. Engine agrees with that. Bishop c5. So unless the pawn is on c3, your bishop's basically going to c5. If they play d4, you're going to trade and then go bishop c5. Or on knight c3, you're going to go bishop c5. But against c3, bishop probably needs to go to e7. Okay, so I'm making a mental note of that. What's white going to do here? Okay, you can't really play d4 in this scenario, so you have to go with this setup, basically. And black's best response is knight to d4. 4 castles. Knight to d4 looks interesting. This is defended. has ever been played. It's one game, and white played bishop c4. Castles. 2 games here, and h3 was played. So, yeah, I wonder if you did just, let's just say bishop e3, is there a tactic here? No. I was wondering if you could sacrifice the pawn to get this pin, if it was worth it, but I guess it's not. Not after bishop e3, so you would just play c6 or d6. Okay. So knight to d4, interesting. Bishop c5 and knight to d4. Castles. If they take, are you taking with the bishop? Yeah, that makes sense. Keeping your e5 pawn here. Bishop e3. You're actually, either way is fine, or even retreating. Pretty even position. Nothing real crazy is going on there. So yeah, knight c3 is kind of a little bit more boring, it looks like. But d4 and c3 can lead to some interesting positions. Okay, so this one was bishop e3, takes, queen g5. I remember that one. It's the bishop. Say they played knight to c3. I don't know. Ooh, that's a blunder. This is a good line to learn. That's a blunder. Very natural looking move, just defending with its development. Loses the game to knight to h4. Oh, because there's a fork. No way to stop the checkmate. And there's a fork. Ooh, that's great. You have to play g3, and you get forked. Wow. So I got to remember that one. I could see that happening, especially in a blitz game. Knight to c3 for sure. Knight to h4. Double threat. That's pretty cool. So that's why, if you remember, the 2 moves that we looked at here were, I believe, queen to d5 and e5. Because e5 allows you queen to e4, which defends and gets out of the fork. So that's why e5 is one of the moves. And then obviously queen to d5, you're threatening a queen trade, so black doesn't have time to do it. Okay. Here's this move, queen to f6. Oh, and then there's fork. Wait, why doesn't... This is a wild line. Knight takes 5. The knight's coming in. Queen c6. This is crazy stuff. King to f8. Queen goes over to g5. f6. This is wild. Where does the queen go? e3. 6. It equal position even though we have an extra piece. Interesting. That's funny. Anyway, got a little sidetracked there. So yeah, that's definitely one that I want to pay attention to. Knight to f5, we already looked at it. You just castle. And you play a6, bring a knight in, play d6. Bring your bishop out. Game goes on, but fine. What do you do here? Bring the knight back to go to f6. You play king to h8. Why would you play king to h8? What the idea is. Get away from the bishop, but you already have that. I don't know. I don't understand that one. Or you could just take knight to d7. I guess the idea is you want to come here. g5, is it? Knight to f6. Queen moves. Love this. c6. I don't love this for black. Like there should be a better option. Let's check bishop 3. Knight to e7. Maybe this is the way. Looks better. Now you're threatening g6, I think. Say this happens. f6 first. Then g6? No, not g6. You don't want the knight to come in? Is that the reason why? I guess you could still play it, but it's saying it's better to just bring the queen. Okay. Attack the knight this way. Yeah, I like this better. So if the bishop goes back, d6, king h1, nope, I like the capturing one. This. And then you bring this knight back to get rid of that annoying knight on f5. Because once you get rid of that guy, black should be doing pretty well. Okay. 40 minutes to go. It's a long time to just study the same opening. It just goes to show, like, if you sit down for an hour of focused learning, you can learn a ton. I already feel like I've learned a lot about this opening. Okay. So we looked at that. We looked at d4. Did we look at the other one was c3? We're gonna play d5. Takes. What if the bishop just takes? Because I think a lot of people might just want to get rid of that. Which way do we take? Let me actually crank up the depth on this a little bit. Make it 22. Okay, queen seems to be... Nope, pawn, queen, they're both really good. So let's take with the pawn. Even though it messes up the pawn structure, I really like that the queen stays centralized and keeps the pressure here, and you're threatening this queen d3 move. Yeah, so white really can't allow that. For example, rook to e1. Now you're also threatening bishop g4. Okay, so yeah, let's just say d3. You just go bishop e7. You castle. I don't know what white's going to do. Don't even take that. You just play here. Because this is hanging. Right. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do some practicing. So I'm going to go to this position right here. And I'm going to practice against some random chess.com bots. That's what I'm going to do. So let me change the bot here. And I'm going to pick just like a random advanced bot. I don't know. Antonio's a 1500 rated player. And I'm just going to play a few times. So let me do this. And let me go over here for you guys just for a minute. There we go. There's the timer. We'll just put it right here in the middle. And let's start it again. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just play against this bot, 1500 rated bot. Let's see what this bot's going to do. Castles. I'm going to go knight g6. He plays d4. I'm going to take it. Takes. I'm going to play bishop c5. Okay, he plays knight b3. So I remember I needed to go back. Queen to d5. I don't remember covering that move, but I think probably just castling is fine. Let's see how that turns out. Bishop e3. I mean, that looks like I could take it. Do I want to open this up? I remember a6 was definitely a move. Also centralizing the knight and playing like d6. Maybe I'll just centralize the knight. See how that turns out. I am threatening the c6 move. Yeah, so I think he blunders c6. And we should be winning. Let's double check the tactics. Don't see anything. And there you go. We got a free piece. We're winning the game. Yeah, and Antonio's falling apart. Okay, so we're going to go back to this position right here. And we're going to change the bot again. And let's pick another bot. I don't know. Let's go for, how about Arthur, 1700. Oh, it's going to go from this position? Okay, I gotta reset that position. There we go. Arthur. All right, let's see what Arthur's going to do. He plays c3. Okay. He actually plays c3 right away. Ah, yeah, I forgot to look at this line, didn't I? I only focused on after castling. I needed to look at this one. So let me actually go do that. I'm sure it's d5 still, but let me actually go back here and just verify this real quick. So yeah, knight e7. Instead of castling, they could play c3. I actually forgot to look at all these lines, didn't I? Could play c3 right away. And I think d5, yeah, 5 should be pretty good. Yes. Now we actually transpose to like a Ponziani, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. Main line here is knight takes e5. Okay. And then we take here. I think queen a4 is one option. No, d4 is the main. Queen e2 and d4. Okay. On d4, what do we do? Do we en passant? Yes. Passant, queen f3. I clearly do not know this line. This is definitely one that you need to be aware of. Looks pretty dangerous. Bishop e6. Knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, takes, takes. Bishop goes back to d7. Queen goes back to f3. And bishop to d6. Wow, okay. Interesting line. All right, definitely important to know that one. Also, queen to e2 here. What do we do here? e6 seems to be the main line. Probably queen takes 4. d5, yeah. 5. Back. And what's the line? Takes g2. 1. Bishop d5. Whew. So there's quite a few lines here. Okay, I think I looked at some of the main ones there. So let's jump back over here. Keep practicing against Arthur. So let's go d5. He plays queen e2. Didn't take the pawn though, so I don't actually know. I feel like just taking is fine. And then, did I look at this line? I think I did. Did I? Was it bishop e6? Is that one of the moves? Can't remember. I can't even remember. Let's see. Let's see if this is any good. Knight takes. Yeah, I'm not remembering this. Dun, 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 dun. It seems like I'm getting in a decent position, but I think what's his name? Arthur's been messing up. Yeah, mate in 5. Okay. So let's see if we can find the checkmate. It's probably here. We can win the queen. Or we can go here and bring the queen out. Is that it? Or even... Yeah, we can go here, sacrifice the rook, bring the queen in. There you go. All right, cool. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Let's reset the position. Let's change the bot. Let's go play somebody else. How about Wally? Let's see what Wally's going to do against this. Castles. Okay, this one, knight to g6, d4. All right, so this is the one of the ones I remember. Bishop c5. He goes for the bishop e3. So this is the one where we trade. Play queen g5. Ah, queen d5. He plays a good move. What was it? h6, right? Yeah, I think it was h6 we said, just to defend the queen. Okay. Plays rook to... So can we... Maybe just castling? I mean, I'm going to lose a pawn. But... don't think I care, because I can pin it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's castle. Now he trades. And I guess just d6. And I think we're in a pretty even position. a6. Maybe I just bring this guy out. Here, then I'm going to have these isolated pawns. I don't really love that. Here, knight's going to come in and attack this. I'm a little bit concerned. Maybe I bring my knight to e5. Gain a tempo on that guy. Okay. So now we're kind of into an equal endgame, which I don't really want to spend a ton of time here. So this is an opening video. Let's go reset and play a different bot. Change bot. Let's see. Who else do we have? How about Julia? See what she's going to play. d4 right away. Okay. Did I look at this line? Did I look at this line? I guess we might possibly transpose after takes if castles is played. No, knight to f5. So this is different. And I don't think I like it so much because I can't castle. But I can attack that. So d5 or d6. I guess it's got to be d6, right? Let me go check because I'm actually curious about this one. Let me go check. All right, so on d4 right away, I don't think I looked at this one at all. Takes is definitely the move. Knight to g6 is an option. And on knight to f5, Never been played. What's the best response? D5 is up there. A6 or D5? A6 or D5? D6 is not terrible. All right, what's the idea behind D5? If takes, wow. Then we get the queen trade and we're happy. Here you just play B6 and you're happy with your lead in development. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. So D5 is what I learned. Yeah, because it's pinned. I can't take it. But also a threat here. What if I take that and move my knight to the center? Is that a good move? Oh, I'm tired. Tired, guys. Yeah, obviously we can't do that. Gotta be like this. Yeah, this should be fine. We castle and we attack king. So, all right, let's go look at that because I clearly messed that all up. So d4, d5, and queen to d4. So let's go back here. Queen to d4. Weird move. I was supposed to take, so I played the best move there. I blundered the knight, but if I didn't blunder and it just went back, yeah, everything was great. Everything was great. This is what we did. Queen to d6. I think there was a trade here, which is fine, and a check. And this is totally fine, just castle. And yeah, you launch an attack. You go here. Take it. And even though you're down some pawns, you got like all of these active pieces, and white is still trying to catch up in development. So should be totally. Wow, that's interesting. Bishop h6. Huh. All right. Anyway, interesting stuff. Let's go back and practice again. And keep practicing. Let's reset the position. Let's change the plot. Let's try Manuel 2100. Okay. I'm gonna play knight g7. He castles here. e4. Take it. Goes back. Interesting. Well, the normal setup, if I remember correctly, was bringing a knight in here. So let's bring a knight in. Inaccuracy. Yeah, maybe I should have played bishop c5 first. Maybe that's why. Now I have to. Yeah. No. I guess we trade or we what? What do we do here? Takes. See. Yeah, I think we can get away. Oh no, that's checkmate. We have to take this one? What happens on rook e1? What's the move here? Maybe queen b6? Maybe it's queen. There you go. Throw in a check. Okay, so let's see. He played d4 and then bishop c4. I don't think that's been played. Let's go back and look at that. Let's go back and look at that one. So it was castles, d4 takes here, bishop c4. Has that been played? No. Yeah, bishop c5 was a little better. Don't take it because of the tactical trick where you lose your bishop. So you just castle, or no, you play queen of 6. Happens on bishop 5. Where's the queen going? Queen did. Oh, wow. Wow. Totally a stockfish thing to do. Okay. Interesting. This is actually I've never done this before, but I think this is a great way to practice. You set up the main, starting position and you just keep changing bots to some new bots. Right. Let's try, I don't know, Francis. Let's see what Francis is going to do. Here we go. D4 right away. Okay, we'll take it. We will go here and we just transpose into this line that we've looked at. Yep. And we take 5. 5 is played a lot. H6. 4, we castle. Knight to C3. We looked at this, and what was I supposed to do? I think just 6? Is there another move? No, I think D6 should be good. Okay, what is that? Is that a free pawn? Crazy? Oh, and he didn't take with the knight. Yeah, makes sense. All right. No, but I can do this. Yeah, this is a fine position. This is great. Okay, let's go back. Reset the position. Let's choose another bot. Let's try Alexander, 2450 bot. Do what he's going to play. C3 right away. Okay, so we'll play D5. Does it go for this line we're supposed to take? I remember that. D4 we're supposed to take. Take. Castles. I don't remember if I looked at this one. Probably we just need to block it with something. Does it matter which way? I think bishop E7 because I want a castle. 6 was a little better. Castles in it is inaccuracy. So I wonder what I did wrong there. That seems just really logical. Let's go check that out. Go check that one out. So he played C3 right away. We did play D5. He played knight takes E5, which was the main line. I took, he played D4. I did this and he castled. No, he didn't castle, did he? Hold on. I think maybe he traded first. Yeah, he traded and then he... Okay. Takes. Here. Of course, I need to take back and then castled. And so the best move is actually bishop F5. So I was thinking we needed to stop the rook. I should have been thinking defend that pawn because it's such an annoying pawn for white to deal with. And rather than just give it to him, play bishop F5. I'm not worried about this. I can play bishop E7 next and then castle and I still keep my pawn. Ah, so yeah, that was my mistake, giving up that pawn in this line. So before, oh, we looked at queen F3, but they can also just castle. Okay. Lots of lines. This is where they start to get jumbled in your head, at least for me. When you look at so many, this is one problem I do have with spending so much time on one opening. It starts to like, everything gets all intertwined. You know what I mean? Let's change the bot. Let's see what Gordon Hayward would play. I don't even know, but apparently somebody in the NBA. Okay. All right, he castles. Let's go knight here. He plays D3. Yeah, just like doesn't really cause me any problems, I think. Bishop E7 and castles, or maybe D5. Yeah, and I can't play D5 now. Maybe here in F5 or D6. Inaccuracy. Yeah, I didn't actually know. Let's just see what's the best way to respond. So here, 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 and D. Should be 7. A6. So this is a useful move, apparently. I need to remember that. Oh, and actually hunt down the bishop. No, castling's pretty good too. Castling 2. D6. Okay, so yeah, I basically was doing the right thing. I didn't need to play king h8, but chase down the bishop. Okay. All right, let's try a different bot. Reset the position. Let's see, who else do we have? Pretty interesting. How about Godmator? 1,000 rated player. Okay. Castles. All right. Or we take it. Play c3. Turns it into like a gambit. Now that's interesting. What do I do against that? That is very interesting. Should I accept it? C. Yes. Okay, and then probably bishop c5. Bishop c5 or bishop e7. a6 or d6. I think bishop c5 gotta be good, right? Okay, he's attacking this. This. I think play d6. Oh, but then I'm... No, it's fine. It's a fine pawn sacrifice. Okay, I think f6 should be the move. And now do we chase this guy away? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. There's no reason I can't just take it. Fine. Okay. Probably queen here. And bishop d7. I think we're great. 3. And yeah, totally fine. All right. So yeah, that was interesting, but I think we played it correctly. Let's just see. Yep, you capture it. Bishop c5 was best. d6 was in... I was supposed to play queen e7 here. Okay, so you defend everything right away. Then you probably castle. That was a little better. All right. Let's reset. Let's go for another person. How about Maurice? 2,500. Go. All right. You say castles? Okay, let's go over here. Please, where we take it. d5. He goes for knight to b3. All right, so I know we go back. I think we played a6, didn't we? Yes. Okay, he went to there instead of c4. Let's castle. It's probably the best move. And I think when they attack this, you just go back. Yep. Should I take it? Maybe I should. And then what? Just d6? d6 is good. Knight f4. Ah, I was supposed to go knight to f4. So if the bishop gets traded like that, you want to be looking for this knight f4 square. Okay. Okay. So I missed that one. All right. Reset. Let's try a new bot. Let's go for... How about Cramling? 2,100. Or right away. Okay. So take it. Knight g6 might transpose. And here we go. We're back into the line that I've learned. All right. We just castle. And then played d6? I don't actually remember this one. Okay. If we take this and attack the pawn, we just bring our queen out. What do we do? What do we do here? I'd probably just bring the queen out, right? Wants to trade. Takes a dun 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 dun. I don't actually know. Rook here to create pressure on that. a6 takes. There's so many moves. I actually have no idea what the best move is here. Probably take. I don't. Okay. And black's better. Why is black better? What do we have here that I'm missing? Is it just taking this and going for that weak pawn? Is it something else? I'm really not sure. Really not sure. Yeah, it is excellent. Okay. It feels like there should be a way to do something cool here, but I don't see it. Oh, I don't know. Is it just taking this? Or B8 there? Interesting. Okay, so what did I misplay something? I think I played it fine. Kind of forgot the line that we looked at before. Go back. So here, knight to f5. We're supposed to castle. Oh, I didn't look at queen d5. That's why it felt different in my head. I didn't look. But yeah, d6 was fine. Okay. And then takes. Taking here. Rook to b8. We have lots of compensation. Queen going back. I think I played this. Yeah. Good. It was a good move. And then rook to b8, probably to induce b3. Then you pile up here. Ah, see, now it's different because now if like on knight to d2, you have bishop here to put more pressure on the pawn. And on f3, f6. Ooh, wow, look at that. That's such a nice tactic. The bishop's trapped. Hmm. Little things, just the little things that really add up. Okay, got 15 minutes. Go play another one, reset the position. Let's see, who else do we have here? How about, let's play an intermediate bot. Why not? Let's play Nelson. Let's just see what Nelson does. Let's see. What's Nelson going to do? Queen e2. The guy. Queen c4. Of course. I mean, it does make me think. Not your usual. Not your setup. Let's get rid of that. I think we just take this way. Let the bishop out right away. Gain tempo on the queen. Bishop c5. Same old story. Castles. Yeah, and we're doing well. We're doing very well. Maybe queen d6 looks like a good square. Probably trade that. Yeah, equal position. All right. That was not that awesome. Let's try a different bot. Let's do another master. Who have we not played against? How about Canty? Let's do Canty. All right. C3. So let's go D5. Takes. We got to take this way. We got to take this way. Castles right away. Before they did this trade, but if they castle right away, I guess the idea is probably still the same. We just defend the pawn. Nope, it's not. Not. I got to look at why that's the case. I have to see why that's the case. All right, let's go back over here. So on c3, you play d5, takes. Nope, sorry. Takes, d4, takes. And if they castle immediately, what are you supposed to do? Queen to d5, forking the pieces to make white do something. Takes. Oof. Take the bishop. Wow. And on this, and this, you've got bishop e6, and you're winning. Castle. The queen to d5. So if they leave the pieces, you got to remember queen to d5. That's the important thing. Okay. Let's go back. Let's reset the position and try it again against Canty. Oh, now he does something different. Interesting. I guess you don't even have to change the bot if they will play something different. You could just keep going against the same bot. Plays bishop c4. Okay. Probably just bishop c5. Ooh, d4. I mean, can I just take it like this? That's a mistake. What was I supposed to do with the knight? That was a big mistake. Really? What's the reason? Trying to trap the bishop, so we play a6. We come back. We castle. We play h. Oh, wow. Very important that I take with the knight here. Wow. Okay. Then you can take it. Now you're fine. Now you're fine. Okay. So in theory, I could just do reset position, and he might play a different move. Yeah, now he's playing c3 again. Now d4, different move. Time. I think you just take this way. And the queen d5 now doesn't seem so good. Did I actually mess this up already? Oh, hold on. So knight here, c3, d5, d4. Yeah, I'm supposed to take this way, not this way. I'm not supposed to let the knight get in like that. That's why it felt like such a bad position. Take this way. Take this way. Then, okay. So many just little subtle things. This is why you need to practice a lot. Now he castles. Okay. Now he plays d4. This line again. We take it. We play bishop c5. Castle. Bishop to b6. f6. a6. King h8. Bishop back. Raid. Don't forget about the f4 square. I think I can wait though, or should I just do it? Do it. Okay, so he chases me away, but he creates some weaknesses. Check and come back, or do I just retreat? Do I just retreat? I don't know. Maybe check. Actually, I don't have to retreat. I can play d6. Okay, cool. So I think we did pretty well. That one. Let's see. Best move. c5 is good. Bishop e7 is. I wonder why. e7. All right. But after that, castling is good. a6 is best. Okay. 6 is best. All right. Feeling pretty good. Let's reset. See again. Ante going to play. 7 more minutes. He plays c3 right away. He likes to do that. All right. We just did this one before. You take this way. Castles. Wow. Probably now I can take this way. It's got to be bishop d7, right? No. a6 was better. This looks like a pretty nice position for me, gotta say. I've gotta say. Queen to d5? And it's just a question of how do we complete the development. Rook to d8 or knight to g6 and get the bishop out. 6, get the bishop out. Perfect. Once you get castled, everything is cool. So we made it out of the opening. We have a good position. All right. Let's try that again. Takes. Okay, this one I remember. It does take this time. Yeah, all right. This is the one where you defend the pawn and you go bishop e7. Okay, probably queen d7 holds everything together. Keeps your pawn. It could also go... No, gotta be queen. Trying to do this. So maybe f6 is needed. And now we castle. But which way? But which way? Stake. Missed a tactic. Did I? Oh, my bishop's hanging. Yeah, that's bad. I needed to. I needed to play a6. It's a tricky position. Now probably king f7. No, I don't have to play king f7. I can. Yes, I do have to play king f7. Or bishop g6 was better. And now we can bring the rooks over. It's so tricky. I gotta be careful against those c3 lines because it's so tricky. All right, we got 5 minutes. Change the bot again. Let's try. Let's try. I don't know. Charles. 2000. Reset. Okay, here we go. Okay. C3, D5. They're tricking me up here with the ordering. Well, before we didn't want to allow that, but now it's different because now it's defended. So now it's probably this move. Yeah. Crazy how like one subtle move difference just like totally changes what the best move is. Really crazy. Well, this way, bishop a6 looks really good. Queen to d5 looks pretty good. Let's go bishop a6. Queen takes d1 was best. See, I felt like this was just going to be so good for me, but I guess it's not as good as I thought. Interesting. The best move here was actually just to take. Just taking and then 5. Wow. Okay. All right, let's reset. I'm going to try this one again. Knight in. 5. Takes. Font. Takes. Okay, this is the one that gets played a lot, apparently. Tricky. Okay, f6. Queen to d7. And what was it? Bishop g6, I think, was one move. Or king f7 was another one. Yeah. And now king f7 should be fine. Castles was best. Oh, was there castles? Oh, because there's like a back rank mate problem. That's cool. If I would have castled here and this happened, there's rook e8. Look at that. Look at that. That's nice. That's nice. Wow. All right, let's reset and try that again. That's a good one to remember. Okay. Knight to c3. We look at this. I don't even actually remember. I think this one was where it was just kind of like almost on d4 though. Take it. Kind of similar. Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we looked at. We took, played queen g5. Now here, it's already defended. Yeah, so it's different, and he's not castled. So the fact this is here instead of castling actually does change that. Now I probably shouldn't have done. Yeah. Okay. So probably here just castling was better. I'm guessing. See. Yeah, just castling. All right, guys. The last minute. I think I'm gonna call it quits here and just kind of recap. So jumping back over here to my analysis, I'm feeling pretty good. Big takeaways. The main line is they just castle and they play d4, and then there's 3 main options: knight b3, knight f5, and bishop e3. The other one that seemed to be played quite a lot, at least from the bots, was an early c3 where we kind of transpose into like a Ponziani. And it was important for me to pay attention to some of these lines, especially like this one with d4. But there's also like some move orders that really change the outcome. So I need to kind of pay attention to that, maybe go back and review some of that. But overall, for 1 hour, I feel pretty comfortable with a lot of the lines. And I have a lot of the ideas floating around in my head. If I were to play this in a longer time control game, I think I could recall some of those. And so this was really helpful. I think that was an hour well spent. So I would encourage you guys, check it out. If you're learning a new opening, maybe try this and change those bots to kind of see, how they respond. I think that's a really great way to do it. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay sharp, play smart.